guys, so in this video we're going to talk about American Airlines stock, ticker symbol AAL, and whether or not I think it's worth buying after the massive price sell-off. So we're currently looking at a stock price of around $9, guys, and we are down from $20 just a month ago. And if we take a look at the 6-month chart, the stock is down from trading at around a much higher range of around $30 just as early as February 13th. So the stock is currently about, I'd say, about 66 to 70% off of its recent high back in February. So should we consider buying shares? So I just want to give you guys a quick heads up. The story doesn't look nearly as good for airline stocks as it does for cruise stocks. I just posted a video earlier about Carnival, and I think Carnival is in a much better situation because the guys, I'm going to tell you the truth, the situation for American Airlines, it doesn't look good. So American Airlines, they were seeking a bailout from the government. So I'll show you guys that article. It says, posted by thefool.com, it says American Airlines to seek $12 billion in government assistance. So American Airlines Group reportedly intends to seek up to $12 billion in government aid through the recently passed relief legislation, enough to prevent layoffs or pay cuts for at least 6 months. American is seen as a major airline that's most vulnerable to an extended downturn because of its industry high debt load. The airline is also responsible for much of the directed at the airlines due to aggressive share repurchasing policies. So it says in a memo obtained by Reuters, company officials said American is eligible for about $6 billion in payroll grants and $6 billion in loans under the $2 trillion economic stimulus package passed last week. That amount, coupled with Americans' cash reserves, will allow the company to withstand even the worst of potential future scenarios. So, guys, basically, American has actually one of the worst debt loads and overall balance sheets in the entire airlines industry. So I actually own shares of Delta Airlines, but it just so happens that Warren Buffett just sold off both his Delta Airlines and Southwest Airlines stock this week. So that's not a good sign when Warren Buffett is selling stocks in a certain sector. And I'm going to talk more about the cruise stocks in general in an upcoming video, but right now I just want to focus on American Airlines and whether it's worth buying or not. So with kind of the dust settled on how they're going to stay afloat, it does look like as of now American Airlines will be good for the next 6 months. So then I want to show you guys another article talking a bit more about okay, so if you take a look at this article posted on Investors Business Daily, it talks about how the coronavirus is affecting American Airlines more so in depth. So as we go here, it talks about a lot of these companies, but it says American Airlines extended its flight cuts into peak summer. American Airlines stock, United Airlines stock, and all other airline stocks fell. So it goes into more depth. It says American Airlines late Thursday said it would suspend more than 60% of its international flight capacity for the summer travel season. It said it would also delay the launch of new routes and some winter service. The carrier is also suspending 25 seasonal summer flights until next summer. So guys, this is not good for American Airlines stock. This is a little bit different than some other companies. This will take probably more time than usual to kind of recoup a lot of the loss for American Airlines, and we're not exactly sure how much they're losing, but United Airlines made a bold claim and said they were losing $100 million a day in revenue. So American Airlines, one of the biggest airline carriers in the United States, so we can assume that they're losing a lot of money as well. So now that I kind of pushed the negative stuff out the way, let's talk a bit more about the positive and what type of opportunity we can have for very, very patient investors in American Airlines stock. So if we just go back to the stock chart and take a look right now. Okay, so I wanted to talk a bit more about some technical analysis that I've been looking at on some of the stock charts here. So if we blow up the 1-month stock chart, we can see that there was a bit of support right around $10, and then the stock broke down through that support. So that is not a good sign, guys. That means that the stock could be headed much lower. We could be headed to maybe $8, $7, $6 in the near future. And the fact that Warren Buffett is selling airline stocks, that's obviously a very bearish signal. But there are some positive things that could happen with this stock. And I want to show you guys kind of a positive spin that I read. Really good article on investorplace.com. It talks about how as the warmer months approach, it's time to buy a American Airlines stock. So it says life will return to normal in the U.S. in the upcoming months. So guys, he came across a really interesting truth about the virus, and he says, for many weeks I've been writing the data that showed the coronavirus is spreading very slowly in warm countries. As a result, I theorized that the spread of the virus would greatly slow when the weather gets warmer in the US and Europe. So guys, that is partially true. It does seem that the virus is spreading slower in warm countries than it is in traditionally cold, countries that go through 4 seasons. And it has also been backed up by top infectious disease expert Anthony Fauci, who started to tentatively admit that the coronavirus will indeed spread much more slowly in warm weather. So what that means is, guys, as we head into the kind of the summer season, we should expect a huge decrease in overall cases, according to these scientists and to their research. And what that means is that we could see a nice kind of bottom for the airline stocks in general. So he points out one more interesting point. He says, I believe the federal bailout will take bankruptcy off the table for American Airlines as peers release 6 months. Clearly, Congress wanted to prevent the airlines from going under due to coronavirus, and the $60 billion appropriated for those airline stocks is most definitely enough money to accomplish that task. So he says, I expect American Airlines stock and the shares of other U.S. airlines to lift once demand for flights starts surging in May, and I recommend buying airline shares at their current levels. So guys, there is a lot of truth to what he is saying. As quickly things turn bad, things can quickly turn better for American Airlines and some of these other airline stocks. So what my take on this personally is, guys, I have a little bit of a different kind of perspective on American Airlines stock. So if you guys would show you blow up the 1-year chart here. For me, I'm actually invested in Delta stock. So for me, I feel like Delta stock is a better buy in my opinion. I kind of like, I'm a big proponent. If you guys have been following my channel now, you know that I'm a big proponent in investing in products and services that I use myself. So I fly Delta all the time when I fly internationally and domestically. So I have Delta stock, but I do think there is potential in American Airlines, but I would be cautious. Okay, so since I don't like to catch a falling knife, when I take a look at this stock, the fact that Buffett's been selling it, the fact that the stock has had to cut its dividend, the fact that others where a lot had to ask for a bailout, and those stocks went very, very low. The one that comes to mind right now is Bank of America. I believe Bank of America was trading around $3 to $4 back in 2008 and 2009. So for me, this is not a buy. Sometimes what I like to do if I'm looking at a chart like this, and I can show you guys a couple tips. So I'm using TradingView, and the reason I use TradingView is because it's so simple to do things. I think it has just a lot more going on than Yahoo Finance. So what we can do, guys, is we can actually draw a nice trend line right here. So as you can see, I'm drawing a trend line to kind of basically show that key support level that was broken down. So if you guys take a look at the trend line I just drew, you can see that there was a lot of support for the stock at around $10, and this stock is now broken below support. So that's a very bearish signal, meaning that more and more sellers have come into the stock. So I wouldn't be surprised if American Airlines stock is trading at around $6 to $5 within the next couple of weeks. So there's a couple ways that you can play this. If you think the stock is going lower, and remember it's at about $9 right now, and it could easily go much lower. I believe the market cap is around $4 billion right now, and the company is basically earning very little revenue. So let's say the stock market cap goes to around 3 billion. What that means that the stock would have to lose approximately 25% of its value, which would put it at a kind of a price of around $6 to $7. I'm just quickly eyeballing it here. So you could, if you wanted to make some money, you think the stock is going lower, you could buy put options. And I want to talk about options a lot more in a future video where I can really go in depth, but I want to keep this video within a decent time frame. So basically, I would probably be buying put options on this stock, betting that the stocks will go lower. Buffett selling airline stocks is very bearish, guys. And in the street, Wall Street, and everybody listens to Buffett. When Buffett does something, people pay attention. So I wouldn't be surprised if moving into next week, we saw this stock go down to maybe $8 or lower. But if you guys are long term, you think that you want to hold on and weather the storm, you could potentially, wait for a bottom here, wait for a time period in this stock where we see kind of some consolidation, where we see more buyers coming into the stock. But for me, if Buffett's selling airline stocks, I'm staying away. So guys, I hope this video helps, and I hope it gives you some insights on what to do with American Airlines stock. What are you guys doing with the stock? Let me know in the comments section. And if you enjoyed this content, please smash the like button and subscribe for more videos. I'm going to be talking about more of these airline stocks, including Delta, which I own, which I am down quite a bit on, and just the whole airline stock industry in general. So that's it for now, guys. Until next time, take care.